Let's go.
Hi. So for our computer networks project, what we did was build an integration for connecting Matter IoT devices to a web app called Trackr to store and visualize the data. So first of all, just a little bit of background about what Trackr itself is. Trackr, as you can see here, is a web tool that was built by students here at the U of M. It's an open source project dedicated to visualizing and storing sensor data. So how this works is once you log in, you will have different projects you can view. So here's an example of a project, a demo project. You can then add different fields that you want to record. We see here that we had temperature and humidity values, and then you can add different visualizations for these. So the idea being that for Trackr, it's for hobbyists or developers who would like to visualize their data. So what you would have to do is write code on the device, and then once you've created this project, you will get an API key, and then you can start sending values to the fields so that they can be visualized. So what we wanted to do was create some sort of integration that automated this process and made it a lot quicker. So we wanted to create an Android application that would connect with Matter devices and automatically create the project for you and start sending values. So what is Matter? Matter is a new protocol that has been recently released for IoT devices. So basically it is a open source protocol that is cross-compatible across all ecosystems. So the idea being that if you were to buy a new IoT device like a light bulb, you wouldn't have to worry about whether it worked with Google Home or Amazon or Apple HomeKit. What you would do is with the Matter device, when you buy it, it comes with a QR code, and then you would just use a phone to just scan that QR code and it would join the fabric. All right, so to actually connect a Matter device itself, Google provides a Google Home sample app, which is kind of like a copy of Google Home app, which you can kind of play around with and edit. Right now, the Google Home sample app only works with on-off devices like light bulbs. So we had to change around the app so that it included for temperature devices, because what we wanted to do was connect it with a temperature sensor. So here is the Trackr Home app. So to actually connect a device, you just go here, which is part of Android's Matter SDK. So you can scan a QR code here. We have this ESP32 device here, which actually has the Matter protocol installed on it. And so you can go here and actually get a QR code, which acts for the Matter protocol commissioning. Unfortunately, this QR code is a little bit too small for my camera, but when you first install the code and flash it onto this device, you can view the QR code in Google Chrome. So I'm just going to connect it here.
Yep.
All right, so we can open up the camera here and scan the QR code, and then we'll be shown this connecting device to Matter Trackr, which just takes a little bit of time. All right, so it takes a little bit of time to get it connected, but once it gets connected, we see here that we have a new device added to our list of devices that we can interact with. And so here we have Connect to Trackr button. So once we hit this Connect to Trackr button, it'll actually create visualizations inside of Trackr, and we can send a temperature value. So we had originally intended on setting up a thread that would continuously pull the Matter device for temperature, and then once it was updated, send those values to Trackr. But the problem is that we were having issues actually reading the measured temperature value attribute on the temperature measurement sensor cluster. So to get around that and just to kind of showcase what the full integration would look like, we just added this send data, which actually just writes the value of 22 degrees to the temperature field. So if we go to Trackr now and we go back to our project. All right, so now we have this project that was just created. And so if we click on this project, we can see the temperature visualization was created with this temperature field. It was only created a few seconds ago, and it's already got one value. And you can see this value of 22 degrees being visualized right here. So that is our Matter to Trackr integration using the Android application. All right, so unfortunately we weren't able to read the temperature measurement attribute from the cluster. The cluster just wasn't behaving as expected, and given the time constraints that we have, we weren't able to fully complete it. Given that this project is open source and part of the U of M's industrial project, hopefully in the next semesters, more functionality and more device types and better integrations could be built for the future. So I think this was like a really good project for all of us. Everyone that worked on this contributed a lot, and we learned a lot, and it was a lot of fun. So thank you, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.